Hello and a very warm welcome to ET Studios, powered by ET Auto. We're coming to you live from the Bharat Mobility Global Expo 2025 right here in New Delhi. Joining me now is Jaiprakash Ramani. He's the CMO, Automotive BU at Supreme Group. Welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you here in ET Studios. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's pleasure, equal pleasure for me.
Wonderful. So, Jaiprakash, if you can just start a bit by telling us about your presence here at the Bharat Mobility Expo. What are you hoping to get out of being part of such an expo? And is there any innovation or anything interesting that you're showcasing today?
So let me take it by just telling a brief about my company. I represent Supreme Group.
Yes.
We have been in the industry for last 40 years. We are a non-woven materials company, and then we expanded into automotive. It's been like 30 years we have been in automotive. We virtually work with every OEM in India in commercial and passenger vehicle division.
Nice.
So this expo, incidentally, is first time we are putting a stall.
Okay.
And we always felt we have been working closely with customers. They know us, we know them. And
Sure.
why do we come to expo? And this year when we were deliberating it, we said, why not we go there and talk about things which are not our usual stuff. So this expo for us is a launch of our Circuline range of automotive products.
Okay.
Circuline is our philosophy. It's a brand where we talk about products which have sustainability not only from an input perspective, that we do not only use materials which are coming from either a renewable or a recycled
Okay.
or a reclaimed resource, but we talk about something called as afterlife. So that is what we call as philosophy of kilometer zero. Any product which is used, our product, at the end of its useful life, it should have a new life.
Right.
And that's
yes.
the beginning of the new life, and we say that's a kilometer zero, and this is perpetual. So what they call as
Excellent.
circularity. Circuline range represents circularity in its
Yes.
true essence.
Yes, wow, wonderful. Really interesting. So, on that note, of course, the key pillars that are really being represented here today is, of course, electrification, sustainability, digitization. Where would you say the Indian auto manufacturing sector is at when it comes to these very fundamental parameters in the world today?
I would say we are, if not behind, not ahead, we are at par with best of the world.
Yes.
Indian companies are agile, at least in automotive sector. Digitization, something which is really OEMs as well as tier ones are working on. Industry 4.0, even Industry 5.0 is being talked about. We in our organization are also working through digitization because that enables us to kind of keep those inputs, use that data as strength, and then improving our products and processes.
Sure, yes.
Electrification, I would say, it's something which is going to be there. It's going to strengthen from where we are, but we are kind of heading towards a multi-powertrain story. Both will coexist. I would say non-EV as well as EVs. So you may have various other powertrains, ICE, petrol, CNG, hybrids. They will coexist.
Yeah.
And maybe consolidation would happen maybe a decade later. About other stuff, I would say sustainability is something which I am proud that we as a country have taken it very seriously.
Yes.
Our leadership, country leadership as well as industry leadership has taken very seriously. Some of our OEMs, they have dedicated chief sustainability officers also.
Yes.
And they not only take lead, they also help suppliers like us, tier ones like us. They guide us. And this is where, as I said, our management also took on it very, very consciously. And we are here with the Circuline range of products.
Excellent. Wonderful. So what are some of the key challenges, though, that you think that stakeholders like yourselves perhaps do face when it comes to meeting these goals, meeting these expectations, and ultimately creating a long-term vision?
So a lot of new initiatives, a lot of innovations, they require a lot of investment in R&D.
Yeah.
So time is always the biggest challenge. You have to be ahead of the curve. OEMs look at you, and then you have to be up there. You have to be competing with the best in the world.
Yes.
So investment becomes another challenge. Third is our ecosystem. Still, as a country, we are dependent on import of key materials. Some of these are easy to procure, some of these are not because of the regulations. So while Make in India helps us there, that we should have a sustainable ecosystem in India, we also have these challenges of how it happens without impacting the costs.
Sure.
So that is a bigger challenge
Yes,
when we talk of it.
absolutely, absolutely. That's a great point there. I mean, what are some of the ways in which you're seeing companies balance, of course, the cost factor, the bottom line, the business efficacy with creating the sustainable long-term goals as well?
So I think the way to do this is collaborative effort. I think
yes.
industry bodies like ECMA, SIAM, and government agencies, we have to work together. We have to find ways of how we should not penalize the industry only
Yes.
to come up to that. There have to be some innovative ways where we become competitive globally, but we also create a local ecosystem. And I think a lot of this has to be a collaborative effort right at the top. And industry bodies like ECMA, SIAM, they have to come into play in a much bigger way.
Yes, excellent, wonderful. And finally, of course, Indian manufacturers are collaborating more and more with international counterparts, international stakeholders. What are some of the key ways in which the Indian manufacturers can ensure an effective collaboration, a long-term collaboration?
I think one key aspect of all these collaborations is that most of the times the partnership has different end goals. Maybe some of the global players, when they come to India, they are more bottom line oriented.
Yes.
Indian companies, they are more relationship and long term oriented.
Yes.
So these are the points where sometimes these derail. But when you look around, we look at a lot of players in automotive tier 1, they have these collaborations which have been surviving for decades and they have been successful. We had one such collaboration which was for the 18-20 years. Of course, we did not part away for any negative reasons, but
Sure.
we still maintain that strong relationship. So I think Indian companies as such, we are very open to collaborations and we are good collaborators.
Yes. Yes, yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. Before we wrap up, any key trends that you are seeing in the Indian auto industry that we have to look out for?
I think one key trend which I see is today the cars that we are manufacturing, they are up with the best in the world.
Yes.
They are not only, when I talk of features, I am also talking in terms of safety, in terms of functionality, in terms of connected cars. We are right at the top. Even we are at par with the premium cars in terms of the materials that we use. Yeah. And we have been very, very sustained in our efforts to keep raising the bar. Each of the Indian OEMs, including some of the Japanese OEMs based in India, they have been doing a great job.
Yes.
And suppliers are also upping the game. So this is one key trend I see, that we will continue to challenge the global teams. We are ready for, let's say, going to the other parts of the world.
Yes.
Establishing Indian footprints there. Second, from a trend point of view, while we will continue to debate about EV and non-EV, but until that is settled, next decade still is going to be multiple powertrains. So ICE engines are not to be gone, and we cannot discount them, and we have to count on them. These are the two key things that I see for now.
Excellent, wonderful. Thank you so much, Jaiprakash. Thank you for being here on ET Studios and sharing all your insights here today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.